Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Frankie Smith Funeral Home.
Hello friends, welcome to Fairfield Today. I'm your host Paul Jassogne, and we are getting into that time of the year that it's pretty exciting, at least for us folks here at Fairfield Today and the Interface and everybody kind of involved in this. This time of the year we get to almost every day, but certainly every weekend, Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, there are events coming which are things that have gone on for years and years, and so we've got a lot of them planned for you as we head into this last month and 6 weeks of the year. We'll have a lot of events that are coming up. We'll be pleased to talk about them. Well, I thank the good folks here, Fairfield Federal too, for allowing us to come in. It's decorated beautifully here, so we're glad to be around as we're moving into this, really the holiday season, so thank you for joining us. And as I think about these events that are so large in the scope of Lancaster and Fairfield County, I think, of course, of the fair just recently ended. Had a wonderful time there. We think about the Lancaster Festival this past summer. Amazing event there. Several days of just non-stop entertainment for the Lancaster Festival. And I think pretty high on the if you had all the events in Lancaster and Fairfield County of the big ones, this would certainly be in the team photo of greatest events in Lancaster and Fairfield County. We are, of course, talking about the holiday parade that's coming up on November 23rd. We're pleased to have with us the co-chair persons, if you will, of the holiday parade. From my far right, Fran Miller, and in between us is Maria Chandler. They are the co-chairpersons of this, and seemed like we just did this a year ago, Fran, and here we are again. I'm sure with you and Maria, the time moves very rapidly anymore as this approaches.
It really does. You start months and months in advance to make sure that you have something different for the parade every year, rather than have everybody in the same spot and everybody doing the exact same thing. And we really do work hard to bring variety to the parade and organization to the parade and timeliness. And I know I have taken a little bit of scolding from time to time from calling it a holiday parade, but it actually is a holiday parade. We have Thanksgiving in there, we have Christmas in there, and all the other holidays in between. So that's kind of where we're coming from. And every year we choose a theme, and the theme, we get that out early so people will try and decorate accordingly.
And what is the theme?
The theme this year, Miss Maria?
It is the magic of a hometown holiday.
And that's perfect for this. And as Fran was talking, I think we could talk a little bit about that. I think many people think that, well, it's the same parade, it's the same old every year, because there are certainly the banks, the businesses, a lot of those folks are every year. We understand that. But you work hard, and I think this year's an example of that. There's lots of new and different things going on with the parade this year.
Well, we have a lot of festival queens that are starting to come in, and it's kind of cute because we give a little tiny pin that says the Lancaster Holiday Parade to the queens. And last year we almost didn't give them out because I had them in a sack and I had them up at our tent. And this one little girl, she was so cute. She was about knee high, and she said, "I was promised a pin." I go, "One pin coming up."
You don't know how big a thing like that is to somebody.
It really is.
It's not a throwaway on your part, but then they're on their sash, and I'm sure they go to 1,000 events as queens around the county, so how nice.
And it's cute that it actually really means something to them. But, everything we do, from giving the awards, we have 2 people who walk around and they do the judging. We try to get that done by 9:30. Thus, you have to be in place in the parade by 9:30 because that's when they start judging, right, Maria?
Right. So with most of the entries, if it's just a float, just a car, you're walking, we ask that you come at 9. And if you have a larger float, that you're trying to finish up decorating, we ask that you be there at 8:30. That way you are set up and ready. That way you can be included. Because if you're not ready, sorry.
You get pulled aside and you're
Scolded?
scratched on the number. No, not even a scold,
You're out.
just out.
Okay.
But the other thing that's really, really important is we have one half of the fairgrounds, which is where we all meet, that in the in circle of the racetrack, that's where you're parked. We have all kind of golf carts up there to bring everything that you need to finish up your float down to your float. So if you're not in the parade and you're not bringing that vehicle in the parade, then please just don't think you're going to go over there and park, because you're not going to get to.
You've got to be somebody
You have
involved.
in getting into the parade.
The vehicle itself needs to be only parked in the parade lineup area as if it's actually going through the route. So if you're just dropping off your child, or you have candy for the float, or
A golf cart will take you there.
if you are in the right-hand lane when you come in, you'll park in the racetrack, and we'll have plenty of golf carts to load you up, escort your child down to the entry. Everyone should know their unit number and their entry number, and then they'll know, where it's lined up. Everything's clearly marked, and there'll be plenty of volunteers there to help you if you don't know where to go.
And speaking of that, Maria and I put a card together that you will be getting in the mail, but you won't be getting that until about 2 or 3 days before the parade, because it's like these lovely entry forms. People are just going, "Oh, I just found that on my desk." Yeah, it's been there since August. But they forget about it, see?
So the card that you'll be
It'll
sending
say,
out, that
you're
will
in Unit 1, you're number
a
5
final
in
reminder
Unit 1.
Right,
on
and-
where everybody is to be.
And they're all color coded. Each unit has its different color, and it'll tell you, like, you are whoever, you're in Unit 3, you're entry 15. It'll also tell you who's in front of you and who's behind you.
Nice.
That way you can, know where you go in the lineup. You can look to see, oh, there is so-and-so, I'm behind them, and that's where you'll fall in.
Now, give me a little heads up here. If you go in a store, certainly now, Thanksgiving is here. We just finished up with Halloween, but you go in a store, any retail place now, it's an amalgamation of all the seasons are blending together. So tell me, here we are. Your event is on November 23rd, coming up very soon, couple weeks. So tell me, when was you did the first thing for the parade? How far ago did you do that?
Last January,
January.
we had to get in contact with the city. No one knows how many pieces of the puzzle, and it is a puzzle that you have to either carry in your head or carry on paper, and it has to be permits. Then you have to secure the fairgrounds, because one year we had the rabbit show with that was not a good thing.
Conflicting events down there with that would be tough.
And at that point, I looked at Dave Benson and I said, "Dave, I really love you. But if you ever bring a rabbit show in the middle of trying to get this Christmas parade off."
And that's hilarious.
So it
That's
was
hilarious.
a funny story. But people were coming in from everywhere with rabbits, and I'm like, what? We don't have, but speaking of animals, we have more animals this year than we've ever had.
Really?
We have sheep, blackhorn sheep of some kind, and we have a complete live nativity scene,
Wow.
complete with chickens. Now, I haven't quite figured out
Were there
how
many chickens in the original
I
nativity?
have
I'm
no
not sure.
idea, but if
Maybe
they
I missed
want
that day.
chickens, then they're chickens. Well, somebody said they might have gotten hungry. So, but we do have a camel coming, and I have so much excitement in my heart about one of our new entries this year. We have 2 beautiful reindeer coming in from LaRue, Ohio. And the gentleman that's bringing them said, "Now, Fran, the antlers may fall off before the parade." And I said, "I have duct tape."
That fixes everything.
Yeah.
So Maria, out of how many entries off? And again, I think that's a moving target. I understand that, but where are we on entries?
I would say upwards of 150, 160 right now.
Wow.
Yeah,
I mean,
that or a little more.
just within the last few days, we've probably had 15 or 20 entries.
Do you get most of the people contacting you to say, I want to be in a parade, or you pretty much know? I mean, you send out 100 entries, you're pretty sure on 100
Right.
of them?
Probably about 300.
Yeah, so we have a mailing list that we keep, each year, and we'll
Of previous-
use after, of people who've been in the parade the last couple years, and we'll send that out.
Feel confident they might want to know
Yeah,
be
and
back
we
in.
always get people contacting us, sending emails, or on the Facebook page asking about entry forms. Where can I get an entry form? How do I be in the parade? We've had people reach out from several hours away to join the parade here.
Now, what is your email, or how do they contact you? Your Facebook information.
Yeah, the email is lancasterholidayparade@gmail.com. And if you look on Facebook, if you just search Lancaster Holiday Parade, you will find us. You'll find us there with all the information you need, and a link to the website where everything is as well.
So again, there's always new people coming then. You have out of the 300, you'll have 150 that'll be in this thing. And you certainly have your regulars, the Fairfield Federals, the banks, again, the Walmarts, all the people that are regulars. But then you've always got, like the reindeer, you've always got new people coming in every year, changes.
It does change, and I get pretty happy about that, because then, you feel like someone's going to be so excited to see this entry. And a lot of them bring their own floats, and, they try to keep with the theme and so on. But this year we have, like the Zucchini Festival hasn't been here before, and the Zucchini Festival is coming in.
Nice.
The Ox Roast is coming in. The people from Nelsonville, the Snowflake Festival, and what's the other?
Parade of the Hills.
You just wonder then too, Parade of the Hills, that's been around, for 100 years, we know that. But you wonder, have they just found out about the parade, or they just now decide, well, that'd be good for us to advertise in that? I don't know, chicken and egg thing, I don't know which comes first.
Well, I would say that one of the queens or one of the court has said
Miss
from the
Parade
year
of the
before,
Hills, yeah.
this is, and I'll tell you what really they like the best is they'll say it's so well organized. And, that's what we really, really strive. We have so many people out there that day. We'll have 2 to 4 people on each unit helping you get lined up. We will have several golf carts in the area that will transport the handicap, transport the band, like we have the Circleville Pumpkin Show is a good example.
Right.
And they have a float, and the Circleville Pumpkin Show band
Yes.
on top of their court comes. And when the band comes in, they have those big instruments and so on. And so we, gladly take them from the center of the racetrack on over to where they're at. And everybody's walking around with information in their hand so that they can help you quickly. We take the parade down so far as to numerically, then alphabetized, and then, so if you're, however you have listed it when you bring it in, like for instance, if it's Habitat for Humanity, it's not the Habitat, or it's not a Habitat, it's Habitat for Humanity.
Oh.
And so you go and you look it up, and you can say immediately, this is where you go.
Well, it's the magic of a hometown holiday. That's the theme. We've had fortunate enough to have Maria and Fran with us, the co-chairs, leading into this. Of course, there is a grand marshal this year. We haven't discussed that. We'll bring that up. There's lots more to talk about. November 23rd is the big parade. We'll give you all the information on times and when all that begins. We'll talk about that. We're going to step away and come back and talk. It's a whole half hour on the holiday parade here in Lancaster and Fairfield County. A great event. We'll be back in just a moment.
The Frankie Smith Funeral Home and Crematory in Lancaster and the Johnson Smith Funeral Home in Baltimore have a long and wonderful history of serving our community. Feel free to give us a call at 740-653-0652. Stop in and see us at either of our 2 locations, 405 North Columbus Street in Lancaster and 207 South Main Street in Baltimore. Respect for tradition, regard for change.
Machine.
Like to be part of Green Machine, keep me busy, and it's also important that we do it together as a group, and we plow and plant, and we have lots of produce. We have tomatoes like one here, and gourds, cucumbers, squash, strawberries, beets, microgreens. We also have flower arrangement, and we also sell bags, those tote bags out of animal food bags, and we sell them out in the market, farmers market.
It's a special place that keeps people healthy by eating a couple fruits and vegetables. I always show people, first time they pick raspberries and green beans, I show them how to do it like they do it wrong. Picking raspberries and green beans is simple, it's easy for me. We're entering some things in the fair like pumpkins, the gourds were growing, and everyone likes them. Tasty.
Welcome back to Fairfield Today. Paul Jassogne with you. Again, want to thank the good folks here at Fairfield Federal, and if you've seen their billboards or any of their advertising out around, they talk about service at a higher level, and I think that's the case here. We always like to bring up the point that these folks here at Fairfield Federal, they are local people, always have been local, been through the Bus Keaton days, the Ron Keaton days, the Judy Root days, and now we're into the new generation. But the folks here make their decisions locally. If you have a loan application or something going on here, you don't have to worry about it being shipped out to a third party. That won't happen. This is Fairfield Federal, a local lending institution who does such a great job locally. And again, even though we're into the kind of the winter season, there are lots of things to go on. Still needing maybe at your house, maybe some inside renovations, some things like that. FairfieldFederal.com is their website. Service at a higher level. It's all over there. They've got all the information about rates, about credit cards available, things that you need to know, and the names and phone numbers of the local people who will make those decisions for you. So phone numbers of all the 3 branches, people's phone numbers. You can call anybody you want, talk to a local person about your money needs. So it's FairfieldFederal.com. And again, our discussion today for the entire half hour, so pleased to have with us representatives from the holiday parade. It's the magic of a hometown holiday. We've got Maria Chandler and Fran Miller with us. And no holiday parade would be complete without an amazing Grand Marshal. And this year is no difference. Give us that information.
Well, we both can do that.
All right, both of you do that. Let's say it together.
We will both do that. Very proud that Brad Hutchison has accepted the honor to be our Grand Marshal this year. Every year we try extremely hard to pick out someone who is not only worthy of the title of Grand Marshal, but who has made a difference in a lot of lives.
He qualifies on that 100%. You look around this community, we'd have a far different look downtown and in this business district without his help through the last year.
That's extremely true, and he's quite a gentleman, I understand. I don't have the privilege of knowing him quite as well as some of my friends do, and Maria's son even works for him. So I am very proud that of her boy that he's working with Brad, because I think Brad can lay some good tracks down for him, as he is a graduate of Lancaster High and so on, and he's a great kid anyway.
Well, that's a good way to make sure your son keeps his job. And we're just kidding about that. I didn't do it. But this is a guy, and your son I'm sure could attest to that. You look around this community, his footprint is all around it, downtown, down at the mill, just around what he's done. It's in the last few years, I guess starting with that Midoff building is where we first kind of took note of that. He's really made an impact on the community.
I agree. There's a lot of things that he's done, and probably many things a lot of people don't know that he has his hands in, because that's not.
People like him, and I think of Lloyd Helber as another one.
That's
that They
right.
do so much for the community, but it isn't always about the recognition. They just do it because it's the right thing to do. And that's the way I think Brad looks at things. Now, certainly much of the things he's done has been high profile. You can't help that. I mean, you look at the mill, you look at the Mid-Off building, some of the things he's done are just high profile. But I think the parade organization here is very fortunate to have a guy of that profile and say he'll do it.
Well, I didn't think we could top the NASA young lady from last year,
Pretty neat.
but I think we've come to a pretty close second.
The Bonsons might not agree, but they might be the only one. Their daughter was certainly amazing and wonderful to have
She
here.
was,
But
and she's
here's
still-
another local guy, just like she was. This is a local kid, grew up in the Lancaster schools and just went on to be a guy, but returned home to do things for the community.
That's right, and I know after the parade she ended up taking part of her vacation to go to different science classes around Lancaster in the different classrooms and schools, and I just think that is pretty darn special.
Well, they're good people, and you've done a lot to get them. So congratulations on
And
that,
I have to
acquiring
give
such a great person.
I have to give to Coot big shouts and thank yous to my brother Dave, because he's the one who convinced Brad. I didn't.
We're speaking of, you may not know Dave Levacy, who is the county
He's
commissioner.
my brother.
He's just her brother. Yeah, that county commissioner thing's pretty far down the food chain when we talk about. Let's talk about the parade here now. How many units are we up to this year?
Well, we have 6 full units,
Six
and they
full
are
units.
almost completely full, but we are still squeezing a few more into 4 and 5. But I would basically say Unit 1, 2, and 3 is pretty well full. We always start at number 1, and we go up to about 40 on each one of them. And we'd rather have too many numbers and fill in the back end of them. But it's kind of neat to know that if you start with something large up here in the beginning, you put all the nice, pretty things in the middle, and then at the end you come with something big again. Like, for instance, we start with fire trucks and so on with each unit, and that kind of is a safety measure.
Mm-hmm.
And we try to keep the parade so it moves along, but I am going to ask everybody to just slow down just a little bit, because a lot of people came back panting. They went too fast.
Yeah, I understand that. Now, Maria, give us the time frame on that Saturday morning. When do things begin for the people that are coming into the fairgrounds at the very beginning of this? What's our time schedule?
We usually get to the fairgrounds about 7, and we have people there sometimes before we get there or rolling in. They start coming in about 7:30. Mm-hmm. We get them all lined up. Most people we ask to be there by 9:30, make sure we're ready to go, and the parade steps off at 10 a.m. right on the dot.
And I think I think Fran alluded to that a little bit earlier. We want to talk about the many volunteers that you have helping this, and one of the things Fran talked about was people come back because they know it's a well-oiled machine. There are always things, we get that, but everybody works very hard at having an answer to any question you might ask. But there are people all over the grounds down there that from parking to lining up people to you folks, everybody is there to be helpful and answer questions.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, there's only one person. Just leave him alone. That's my husband.
He's got a lot on him.
He does. He goes, I don't like to be yelled at.
He should be used to it.
No, he isn't. No, believe me, he isn't.
But again, would you have any idea on the number of people that are kind of involved in this? Is there just a baseline figure?
Oh, I would say, 50, 40, 50.
Yeah.
45 or 50 people just to pull this thing off.
We start with the city fathers, and they have to be out there, and they do all the presentations. And then you have been so kind as to be out there early and to film those, so that when everything is live, everything looks like that's the way it should work. And then we have from there assignments of people that are like with Unit 1, Unit 2, and Unit 1 is broken in half. So from, say, 1 to 20 is up here. There's a road to the back side of the fairgrounds, and then 20 and up goes clear on up to Wilson. we have all of the, if anybody's listening to this, please listen to it. The back gate by the Rising Park is for the horses
The
to
Broad
come
Street
in.
entrance.
No, the one back by Rising Park.
37.
Oh, okay, I
On
got you. That back
37.
gate, okay.
That brings in our big horses.
Sure.
And it brings in our tractors, and it brings in anything that has to be unloaded, stored, because they bring those horses all packed into horse trailers. So they have to get them out, get them groomed, get them ready to go. And you see a lot of tail braiding going on. We have quite a few horses this
We
year.
have a lot of horses this year, and a lot of horses that are coming from pretty far away.
Yeah, and I am really, Mr. Stanley, Alan Stanley's bringing in his Percheons.
They're so impressive.
They are so beautiful, and these are the silver ones. He said his black ones are just getting too old to do that long, pavement march. So the Percheons are gorgeous, and then another entrepreneur, but another person who does so much for the community in the background and never ever wants acknowledgement or praise for it is Monty and Susan Black. And
Again, great people in this community.
they sponsor something for the Fair Queens, the Junior Fair Queens, the 4-H kids. And it is a gorgeous, this year it's going to be a gorgeous wagon. They usually either do that or Cinderella coach or something like that. They're bringing, what's the horses, the Budweiser horses?
Clydesdales.
The Clydesdales. She's bringing in 2 beautiful Clydesdales.
Oh, nice.
And they're coming up from above Newark area.
If you had to pick out, I'll ask both of you, if you had to pick out one thing, now you've talked about horses, you love them, we've got reindeer, we've got everything. Does anything kind of stick out to you that you're just so pleased that's going to be in here this year?
There are so many different things.
The Calliope's pretty cool.
It is nice.
Yeah, and he has totally restored that. And
It's Bill White's.
no, this is Mr. Dunfield,
Oh.
and Mr. Dunfield comes from.
Sugar Grove.
No, he's further away now.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, he's up above
It
Grove
comes from
City in
a
that
long way
area.
to. That's always great to hear, though.
And so we've got that coming in. We have professional floats that are sponsored. I'll tell you something I get excited about is the different, like there's several different real estate companies that come in, but they among themselves will almost do a little competition, like between Grinch and
Shocking.
Frozen.
I'm shocked
and,
over that.
And,
Real estate companies would be in competition with each other.
well, but it's kind of nice, though. They really do put their best foot forward because it takes a lot to get those homemade floats together and get them in place to go.
Well, let's pin the tail on this. It's the magic of a hometown holiday. It's November 23rd coming up here shortly. I mean, before you know, it'll be upon us. Things are moving to the ready. You still have things to do. People still checking in. I'm sure there are last-minute things. That's why they're called last-minute things. Some things can't be done until that Saturday at the end. We'll hope for a beautiful day here. That's always pleasurable. So we go for that.
It is.
So we want to thank Fran and Maria for being with us today. It's an amazing event. A couple of hours of just wonder for months and
Good
months and
music.
months. And the bands and everything there, it's an amazing time. The magic of a hometown holiday, and the Grand Marshal this year is well-deserved Brad Hutchison. So we're looking for a great day. Girls, we hope it works out good here for you. We're looking for just another banner parade. Thank you.
And don't you forget, the reindeers will be right before Santa.
You see the reindeers, you know the big guy is here.
Yes.
All right.
And we're talking real reindeers.
Okay. We don't want no phonies in this parade.
No, they are on the floats.
Fran and Maria with us from the holiday parade. Thank you.
Interface Video presents Fairfield Today. Brought to you by Fairfield Federal Savings and Loan, Fairfield Medical Center, Fairhope Hospice and Palliative Care, the Fairfield County Board of Developmental Disabilities, and the Frankie Smith Funeral Home.